This is BarCode, a cocktail-powered podcast that dives deep into the personalities, criminals, and heroes that have come to define security across the globe. Please join our host, Chris Glanden, for another wild foray into the incredible world of humans and how they intertwine with today's modern technology. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Three, two, one.
Activate.
Welcome to BarCode. I'm your host, Chris Glanden, and today I am with Rich Greene.
Yay.
Welcome, Rich.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much, Chris, for having me. We finally got to this point where our paths collided.
Yes. Our paths have collided. I think it was at the Sands DMA Awards. I think that's where I first actually ran into you, probably in the bar. I don't remember exactly where it was, but we got to talking, and I think we just hit it off there because I really love what you're doing from a content perspective, and was glad I got the opportunity to meet you there.
No, likewise. It was. I think we might have saw each other in the pre-reception, but it was the post-reception where we actually got a chance to actually talk and exchange stories and just really vibe, which is always the best thing.
Definitely. And I even got a picture of you, I think, with the BarCode swag chain on.
Yes, which is amazing. By the way, those things are phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. I got to get you one. I'll get you one.
You let me know what I got to do to earn the honor.
Nothing, man. You're doing it. You came on the show. You took time and carved out some time out of your extremely busy schedule, which we'll get into. So I do appreciate you for that. But before we kick it off, you and I got to talk, but we never even really got into your background and like how you got into the industry. So if you don't mind, just walk me through that. Talk me through your background and like really what put you in the direction of going to cybersecurity.
No, absolutely. It's a wild story. It's like one of those things. It's just like, where do we start? Like, I'll give you the cliff notes of the whole thing. So young Rich, I really got my first messing around on computers, of course, at school, Oregon Trail, number munchers, 5 1/4, right? That whole life. And that was fun. But I remember my mom bringing home an E-Machines computer, like was the very first thing she brought into the house. And I'm like, what is this thing? And AOL was my first foray right into like trying to figure out what things were and BBSs, and just at a young age, I didn't have things and I wanted things. We couldn't afford them. And I quickly learned that if Richard became Rachel on AOL, I can get people to send me all kinds of things because people like to be nice. So I started social engineering before I even knew that it was a thing. It was a term. And then the judicial system did not like that. They did not like me, not stealing from people, but manipulating people to send me things. So I had that really age-old story of join the military or go to jail was kind of what I was propositioned with. And at the time, as I am now, I was like, yo, I'm too pretty for jail. Like, I can't be going to jail. So I chose the Army. And at that point, kind of like computers stopped. They ceased to exist for me, right? Basic training, AIT. I was a commo kid for the Army for the first 5 years I was in the Army, right? FM comms, ComSec changeovers, front lines, battlefield. And then I was like, I can do more. I can do better than this. So I went out to SFAS, which is Special Forces Assessment and Selection. And somehow they selected me. And then I went to SFQC, which is Special Forces Qualification Course. And somehow I made it through. Still a commo kid. I was a Special Forces communications guy. It didn't last long. I found myself still wanting to do more. When you go in the soft community, there's really 2 routes you can take. You can take Gun Bunny or you can take Intel. I chose Intel. And that's really where I came back into, we'll call it cybersecurity, but my goal there was more close target access, right? Access and placement. I had the ability to be in certain places where we needed stuff and things. So how do I use humans and technology to do and get stuff and things? So really, like, I skipped all of the normal stuff. I was never help desk, IT, net admin, sysadmin, database. I never did any of those things. My whole experience was offensive exploitation, but more like not pen testing, not Vold man, but like, hey, there's a cartel safe house over there. Somebody way smarter than me needs access to that thing. you got to get us access,
Mm.
network tap, hard tap, Wi-Fi, like figure it out. So that's where I spent the last part of my career. And that was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
real
when I
shit.
retired, I was like, what do I do with my hands? Like, I feel like Ricky Bobby. I was like, I did all these cool things, but it's not something you just throw onto a resume. Like, I didn't know how to word it. I didn't have certifications. I didn't take courses. It was all learned. So I didn't know what to do. I became a contractor for the DoD, teaching the exact same thing that I was taught. And I ran that schoolhouse for a while. And I was like, you know what? I really enjoy this. Like, I love teaching. I love taking complex things and distilling them down and letting other people run and do amazing things. And then Sands came in the picture. Sands stole me away from them. And then I just ran with it. I was like, I think I can do this. I'm in the right spot. Like, I feel like I am in the spot where I need to be. And it's just been, I've been living the life literally my whole life, but it's been amazing, man. I really couldn't. What's that saying? Find something you enjoy. You'll never work a day in your life or something like that. I don't know what that one is, but I really do feel like I have found that.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I both, I think, share that belief. When you aligned at Sands, I'm sure for you, it was like, okay, this is it. Cause then it was like, you're in probably the most premier organization you can be in for teaching. Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And that was weird for me because when I was getting ready to retire, if you ask Rich Greene what my actual dream job is, it's teaching world history to middle school. Like, that is where I really want to be. And I will be there one day. I don't know about high school. I don't want to be a professor. Elementary school, I'm not dealing with that. But I know for me, I was such a troubled kid that I think if I would have had a really strong mentor and role model in like that middle school era, sixth, seventh, eighth grade before I went to high school, I think my life could have been completely different. So like, that's where I want to go back for that reason. So like, hey, if there's this one kid that I can have that impact on, I can die a happy person, right? I will feel like I have made that commitment. So when I got done and I didn't do that for fiscal reasons, right? And then like Sands is like, it's still teaching. You can do that. It's teaching adults, right? But man, I'm telling you, it is, there's.
yeah. What would you say? I mean, if there's anything at all, what would you say that you would change along that path that um I don't want to say would have made it easy for you, because I think going through it the hard way actually helped you to get to where you are today. But like, just from a retrospective, like this is what I could have done better, and if I were to do it again, this is what I would change.
It's going to be super cliche, but quite honestly, just listening to those around me, everybody knows. And I can't say everybody, right? Because that'd be stereotypical. But I know for me, when I was a young rich, I was the smartest person in the world. Like, there's no way that you knew more than I did. I didn't care how old you were, what your experiences were. You live life, but you have no idea what I'm going through. You have no idea. And that's really been powerful for me as I've gotten older. Is now when I meet people, I usually shut up and listen. And I feel like I assume that I'm the dumbest person in the room and I soak up everything I can. But young me, bro, no, I was the smartest person. You couldn't tell me anything. Like,
Yeah.
that's where I really wish I could have changed
Got it.
early on. And it would have changed so many things. I wouldn't want it to have changed the trajectory that I lived my life, because it did make me who I am. But I was a stubborn little kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps instill confidence when you have that mindset, but sometimes, like, in a situation like that, I'm the same way. Like, I talk too much, and I think it's like, all right, stop talking, start listening, and I think I learned that later on as well. But again, having that mindset, I think, because a lot of your content, a lot of that still comes through. I think that confidence, and just that you know the product or the lesson that you're delivering, and I think that presents itself as being very confident, and people are receptive to that, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
If I try to imagine, I think we've all sat through a class where we probably thought, oh, I feel like the person teaching this might not know as much as I do. And not even from like an ego or hubris standpoint, but like, I think there's a really stark difference between those that teach and actually live the life compared to like a full-time teacher, especially in our field.
Yeah.
If you were a hacker 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and you've never even really touched or done anything on a technical side before, and you were teaching those things now, I think you'd be able to tell, right? Just when you look at the kids nowadays, they're so smart. They're so clued in and everything. And I think it's the same thing, right? Like living the life and then teaching the experience from the life helps compared to just being an actual, I'm not even sure the right term, right? But like,
Yeah. We like the content that I've seen you do, whether it's on your YouTube, or other platforms. I mean, you really have sort of this unmatched delivery style, this unmatched energy that you bring to your content, which I love, by the way, and I think it keeps your viewers engaged. I'm just curious, how do you keep that up, man? Like, do you have just a case of Monster next to you at all time? Like, how do you, I guess, prep for doing this content and just maintain that energy throughout? Because again, I think that's very niche. You don't see that a lot. And it works for you. So I'm just curious how you approach that.
I joke with most people that I'm a nuclear reactor hiding in a skin suit, but no, it's weird, right? You know how there's introverts and extroverts, and you know how there's those people that when they like introverts can go out in public and their battery drains, right? I think for me, what's different is I feed off of people. Even if it's just one person, like you and me right now, like I can do this for 24 hours straight. Like we can do all like those kick streams where you play video games for 24 hours as long as there's somebody else there with me. If you have me in person with people, it's even more dynamic because like I'm just feeding off of just people being in there. And I don't even need you to be having a good time. But if you're physically in there, I don't know, I'm like stealing your atoms of whatever this is coming inside of my being.
Yeah.
And I've been that way my entire life. But like when I'm by myself, it's not that I drain, but I find like when I shut down for the night, like I shut down for the night. And it's not that I couldn't go right back out. It's just for some reason my body's just weird like that, where if it's just
Nonstop.
me by myself, there's nothing there. But even if just one person comes in and sparks a conversation, just says something, it kicks right back up to 110 and I'm right back at it. I did it last year. I was teaching in Singapore,
Okay.
Monday through Friday. And I was also chairing the New to Cyber Summit for SANS, which just so happened to be starting Friday morning at like 9 a.m. for the US, but for Singapore, it was like 2 a.m. So I taught all day Thursday, went and had dinner, came back, set up, ran the entire summit, and literally summit ended at 5 a.m. I started teaching on Friday morning in Singapore time at 9 a.m. and we just kept going. It was just like a nonstop thing. I don't know. I hope it stays for forever because I don't really drink a lot of caffeine. I don't drink a lot of monsters,
Okay.
but I'm always just 100 miles an hour.
You're
There's
zoned in.
never like a
Yeah.
sad, dull rich.
Yeah. No, I've never seen it. I've never seen
Doesn't
it.
exist.
Even when I was with you and it was just a long night, like you were still like going nonstop. And I was like, all right, he loves what he does, man. And that's what I love about you. So, and anybody that watches your YouTube content or your TikTok, you're on TikTok too?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much on everything.
Yeah.
If there's a
Yeah.
camera and I can film something and put it on another thing, I'm probably on that thing somewhere. Blue Sky, X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Do you manage all of those channels yourself?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
only because I don't know what I'm doing. So all my content, if you ask me, my content's trash, but I still make it anyway. I don't care if there's one view or if there's more than one view.
Love that.
But I've never been able to like figure out how to branch out and grab somebody to be like a social media manager.
Hmm.
I've tried going on things like Fiverr and Upworks and like trying to like outsource somebody,
Hmm.
but I've had a really hard time finding somebody that has the same vision in my mind of what I expect it to do. And I'm not good at it, but I still expect it like to do something. And I've struggled. I've tried reaching out, but it probably would help me. I used Hootsuite for the first time last night. I was
Did
so
you really?
excited. Yeah.
I haven't used that. I have the same problem though. I mean, it's like you have this level of quality that you want to meet, and it's really hard for anyone to meet that level of quality other than yourself. And so I struggle with that too. Unfortunately, it's very time consuming for the creator, and a lot of people that are on the other side of the screen don't recognize the work that goes into it. So, um, I always ask that question because it's grueling work. Unless you can find someone that can really study your style and you have the time to really train them up. And I'm not there either. Like, I trust myself and what I
Yeah.
deliver. So I get it.
No, it really is. Every time every time I put feelers out there, the responses I get back is I think there's people that are like wanting to be hired for a role. And yes, it is a role, but that's not how I view it in my mind when I think about this, right? Because like Rich Greene, I feel like a douche even saying this. Like Rich Greene is a brand, right? Sith 2 is an actual brand, like it's an actual company. But I don't want to hire somebody to be like a social media manager. Like I want a partner. Like I want somebody that comes in, the values are the same, the mission statement is the same. Like, you know your role, like you do social media things really, really well. Keep doing that. I do my thing. I will make you content. We can make content and do it. But like, that's why I lack trying to find is just somebody who's like, I don't want to hire somebody to hire somebody. I really,
Yeah.
truly do want a partner. And
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's hard
somebody
to
that, like you
convey
said,
that message.
yeah, it is. It is. So you mentioned Sith 2. Tell me about that. What does that involve?
So Sith 2 is a weird thing. Sith 2 is your typical military person. I'm going to get out and create a company because that's what every single person in the Army does. But what Sith 2 was for me, and it's kind of evolved. When I first stood up Sith 2, June of 2022, a couple of months after I retired in April, May, June, less than 2 months later, I had formed my own LLC. And at that time, it was security, infrastructure, threat hunting, and hardening is all it was. And
Okay.
my whole premise there was I learned, again, a lot of really cool things in the Army. How can I give that back to my community, specifically small, medium businesses who don't have the luxury of bringing external support in to
Mhm.
do things like Voltman and pen testing, either physical or network based? So I was like, I really want to give back. I'll stand up this company and I'll do that. I really won't charge anything. I'll have fun, keeps me hands on keyboard. I keep my skills sharp. You tell your friends and your other business people who I am and like slowly build out that way. And that was great. And then I got more into the content creation and the teaching. I'm like, how do I bring like all of this together into the same little bubble? So it's just Sith 2, and Sith 2 can mean a myriad of things. So now it's changed. So now Sith 2 does still do that consultancy perspective, but now it does the content creation. It does the speaking and the keynoting and the teaching and the education and the blogs and the podcast. It really kind of encompasses now everything. And it's a lot easier for me to manage that because I didn't want to be that guy that stands up 19 different LLCs. I can't even
Yeah.
manage one person, let alone 19 companies.
Yep.
And that's really what it became now, right? So now Sith 2 is, I think I just finished the rebrand this year now, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's a whole different look. I actually
What's the
just finished.
website?
So easy, sith2.com.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got it.
sith2.com.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy as can be. I wanted Sith, but of course, another Star Wars fan probably stole that one way before I did. But it
Yeah.
still works. But no, it just allowed me to really branch out and not just open it up, right? So I really just finished this morning. So I thought about building a presence on Medium, Substack, but it's like, I'm just going to do it on my own. I don't even want to go to those other places. So now I literally just finished uploading all of the blogs to all of that accompany all of my podcast episodes to Sith 2 this morning, actually.
Nice.
Like maybe an
Nice.
hour before I got on our call.
There you go. You heard it first.
Yeah.
You heard it first here. No, I love that, man. I love the ecosystem angle. I mean, I didn't realize how much Sith 2 aligns with BarCode and what we do here because we run a similar sort of services / content creation in parallel. So really, really respect that approach, man. And again, it's not easy. I assume you're running most of it, if not all of it.
Yes. And you're right. It is not easy. I'm going to come back to that really quick, especially for content creators. But no, yeah, I run everything. The only time that I will outsource, because again, I don't know skill sets. So if an organization does reach out to me to do some kind of consultancy, if we go into an area that I just don't do a lot of, like I understand OT and ICS, but if like a energy place around here reaches out to me, I'm like, look, I can't help you specifically. So I'll 1099 and bring somebody in under me to provide that aspect. And that's really the only time I'll go outside. And the other good thing about it is I can keep my operation small. It's just me. And of course, my wife, who's my bookkeeper, who doesn't like all my purchases. But it allows me to be very, very flexible with my schedule, right? Because I do teach a lot for SANS, and what I don't want to do is just be slammed with engagements. And I'm like, now I got to cancel on customers or cancel on teaching.
Makes
So I
sense.
can just kind of be very, very flexible, which is nice.
So talk to me a little bit about that, man, and why produce content like that, and then like how does that align with your brand?
Good job.
Did I say that? Was
No,
that
you said
okay?
it perfectly.
Okay.
And I know it's a question because this is now probably the 5th or 6th time that somebody asked me this exact same question.
Really? Okay.
So the reason why I do it to begin with is because I think I'm scared, to be quite honest with you. Like, if I'm just being completely honest, I think I'm just scared that if I stop doing it, my body's just going to break, right? I've seen a lot of my peers who spent a long time in the Army, and then they get out of the Army and they stop being as physical. And then their hips are gone, knees gone, back's gone, their quality of life suffers. And it's like literally within years of retiring from the Army. I mean, hell, if you look at the research, I think there's some people, if they spend like 25 years in the Army, their lifespan out of the Army is like less than 10 years if they stop being active. Like, that scares me. It scares me a lot. So I was like, I'm just not going to stop. So I stay lifting. I stay in the gym. I just stay moving because like I just don't want to know what happens if I don't do it. Now, the reason I make the content with it, I don't even really make the content for anybody, but I use it for myself. I was talking to somebody on LinkedIn the other day about this. When I was younger and started, I always would scroll social media or look in the gym. I'd compare myself to everybody. Oh, you know what? That guy's lifting, 415 pounds or 405 pounds on the bench. I can't do that. I'm trash. Like, why am I so bad? Why can't I do that? And I compared myself to every single person so bad. Social media did not help that at all. It made it probably exponentially worse. It wasn't until later in my life where I was like, you know what? I need to compete against myself. I need to see that Rich is better than I was yesterday or last week or the month before. So the main reason I just film myself so much in the gym and post it so much is so when I scroll back through my own social media, I'm like, oh man, I only lifted that much then, but now I'm lifting this much. Like, for me, that's huge.
Yeah.
And I know it, like, people laugh all the time. They're like, nobody cares about your workouts. Don't post your workouts. And it's like, it's not for anybody else, right?
It's not for them.
It's for
exactly.
me. Yeah, I'll put some comments on there. I'll try to make it fun in case somebody else does see it. But for real, it's really just to keep myself accountable. And I'm a honest believer that when we look at the human, it's like that 3 tenets, right? Physical, mental, and spiritual. You have to like really do something. And it doesn't have to be in the gym for the physical part. It can be walking, meditating, yoga, Tai Chi. I don't care what it is you do, but I think you need to focus and work on those 3, I don't call them pillars, that triad, that human triad. And I think it just makes the quality of your life just better. I could be wrong, but for me, it's working well.
No, I enjoy seeing it. I mean, I'm trying to get back to it myself. So I think you're an inspiration to others, even if they don't tell you that. So
Thank you.
keep it up, man.
I appreciate that. One thing I did want to come back to really quick, when you were talking
Yes.
about creating content is not easy. I wish a lot more people knew that. I think people go on and they see like the Network Chucks and the John Hammonds and BarCode and just all these folks that are just like putting out amazing things. And on the other side, they're like, oh, it's not that. I can do that. I can do that. And it's like, bro, I don't think this side, like being on this side of the camera, like this is the easy part. Filming content is the easy part. It is everything else after the fact. The main reason I don't do more on YouTube is because I know that no matter how great my content I think it is, if I don't have like a top 1% thumbnail, it ain't gonna go anywhere. And I suck at thumbnail creation and I can't find anybody to help me with thumbnail creation.
Yeah.
That's hard. Like that's like a full-time job all by itself. SEO, building, supplying. People truly don't know like what that entails on the backside.
And just understanding the algorithm and I don't even know if I understand it. Like, but again, that goes back to what you said about creating content for yourself. Like when I started a podcast, it was creating content on certain topics that I wanted to interview people on or I wanted to discuss. And my mentality was like, if you like it, listen. If not, I'm cool with that too.
That's my tag
So,
for everyone.
and I think that's the secret to the longevity too. Like I'm continuing to do this 6 years later and I'm still talking to great people like you. I don't have a script that that tells me who to go to next. It's like, all right, man, I met you. You're cool. You have a differentiator, and I want to hear more about it. And so I think, it's those type of things that keep me going. And I really try to refrain from looking at numbers, metrics, likes, things like that. Are you sort of the same way, or is that something that
Spot there
you
with
pay
them. I
close
am like,
attention to?
that's why we vibe so well, Chris, to begin with, right? That's why we vibe so well at the very, very beginning, because you and I are just very similar. I don't even care. Likes, comments. You'll never see me ask for anybody to subscribe, like it, repost. I do in my actual, my call to action in all my podcast episodes, I do tell people, if you enjoyed this and you think somebody else will, please share it. But like, I don't want to like guilt, it's not guilt, but I don't want to guilt somebody into liking my content or sharing my content.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
make it for anybody else. My entire podcast, I ask for requests from people, like topics they would want to hear. But my fun thing to do is to take a single topic and break it down as simply as I can in 10 minutes or less. Like that is the whole premise of my podcast. And whatever it is, I do my best to do that. And I do it because I enjoy it. Like it's because how I would want to hear it. That's why I tell people, if every single podcast gets one listen, it's going to be me. That's a success for me. I don't care what it costs. I don't care that it costs me more to keep up my hosting privileges through Buzzsprout than anything. Like I don't care. Like my videos, if somebody likes it and comments and awesome, but like nothing I make is really for anybody else other than myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think when you get that one person that comes up to you, right, and says, you've made a change in their career trajectory by this one lesson that you gave, like that makes it all worth it. You can give me a million negative remarks, and for me, it's to hear that is really, I think, what helps keep me going too, is knowing that I'm providing some value to others and they enjoy the content.
So a question I do have for you now, though,
Yeah.
for negative comments, do you like corresponding with them, or you just ignore them?
I ignore them. I use it as fuel because I've always been the person to prove you wrong. Like I welcome negativity because it's always made me stronger.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove to you that I can do this, and I'm going to prove to you that it's the best that you've ever seen. And like that's my mentality, is coming in at that angle, and the closest that I can meet to that level, I'm okay with. But it's people constantly telling me I can't do something for so long has sort of just it's left me wanting to be more aggressive and proving them wrong.
No, I love it. I love that mentality. That's the other thing I try to tell a lot of people who are like, I want to start content creation. I'm like, look, two things: do it for yourself, don't do it for others. And number two, you need to find a way to deal with trolls and negativity. If you can't deal with either of those two things, this field, content creation, will be rough for you.
Yes. Yeah.
But I personally,
do try to ignore it. Like I really do try to not pay attention to it. And to be honest, like our industry is, you have some people like that. I think for the most part, 99% aren't like that. But when you do encounter those people, you do have to be ready for it.
absolutely, I engage with them. Because I owe it to myself, and this is something I told myself that I was going to do once I started. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make content. I'm going to do this regardless. I respond to every single comment or message that I get, regardless of what it is. I won't let them bring me down to their level. I see the majority on Instagram. Instagram's probably the biggest spot that I see for trolling comments or just people being ridiculous. And I'll just message them. We'll just go back and forth. We'll have a great conversation.
Yeah.
My grandmother, I'm from the South, and they always, what was that term? Now my grandmother's going to kill me. You catch more bees with honey than spice.
Okay, I've heard that.
Something like that, right? So I really just like lay on that Southern charm when somebody's like, this is so stupid. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry you didn't like this. Like, what could I do better that would have made you enjoy this more? And then I think it makes them more mad. And then it just goes back and forth.
Well, you already know that they're coming at you in super aggressive attack mode. They're not genuinely
they're crazy.
Man.
I will say, I think my greatest claim to fame is I posted a video on TikTok, and it was talking about using passkeys and password managers, multi-factor authentication. And this person commented something along, oh, this is great. Tell me tell me why my wife left me. I was like, whoa. And I was like, hey, sorry to hear about that. Don't know why she would have left you. We went back and forth. It's probably like a 3-day conversation. But at the end of it, he's like, you know what? You convinced me to use a password manager. I'm like,
Really?
yes.
Damn, that's a win right there.
Yeah. I convinced some random person on TikTok to use a password manager. I can check the
Yeah.
block on my career in
Yeah.
cybersecurity.
Yeah, and you go back to just being able to post what you want to post. Like when you look at these different platforms, each platform is different. So like YouTube, I feel like I know well. I'm on TikTok. I'm not on Instagram. I rarely use Discord, but I know there's a different audience there. I mean, like what has been like really surprising or shocking to you in terms of engaging with those platforms? Because I assume like your TikTok is not your same viewers as your LinkedIn.
Probably no. I really
So,
don't
like
think so.
yeah, so, like, do you deliver content differently? Do you engage with people differently? Do you I guess, how do you navigate between different platforms?
So it's been interesting, and I haven't figured it out either. Right, I'm slowly understanding it more and more. What I will say is, I think what makes it so much different or polarizing is more that, like you said, it's the audience base of each of those. I take something like LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure you or I can right now go on LinkedIn, and within 30 seconds max, we are going to see a AI generated photo that explains somebody's post, and we're
Mhm.
like, cool, whatever. I like it. If you flip that script and go on to Instagram, right? All Instagram is full of is if you post like an AI generated, and I know this because I tried it once. I had like not 60, his total 60. It was like 20 or 30 organic comments of people just ripping me apart for using AI. It was AI slop this, AI slop that. How dare you?
Interesting.
AI, AI. And it's interesting to see the polaring differences between the audience bases
Yeah.
because on LinkedIn, I think because we're so the type of people that we surround ourselves on LinkedIn, it's like almost like a hive mind, right? Other people are
Mhm.
using it, they use it for whatever reason, and we're accustomed to it. But then you flip the script and go over on Instagram, it's like
Yeah.
the pitchforks and flames and torches are out there. And then you switch over to like TikTok, and TikTok's like nothing right now but like AI generated videos. Like the whole platform just feels like
Yes.
it's short form AI generated videos. So it's just wildly crazy to see how it is different on everything.
Mhm.
For me, I focus primarily on LinkedIn
Okay.
and then the podcast, I post the podcast every Friday on every single platform. And then I'm trying to figure out on LinkedIn or not on LinkedIn, but on TikTok, like how I want to approach that. Cause short form content's definitely more aligned for that, right? So quick bits that make sense. And I don't know what I want to do yet. That's why usually the only thing on there is my cold openers for my podcast that was posted on there now or lifting. Uh,
Yeah.
and then like on
Yeah, I'll do,
Instagram, I
like,
think my
reels
best
from the
performing video on
podcast.
Instagram is a Star Wars clip, and it's like 800,000 views, and it's literally just me showing my Star Wars set built and destroyed. I'm like, this is what you people came for.
Yeah. That's what gets me is the algorithm, man, like,
Yeah,
this gets me
it's
the
night and day
algorithm.
different, man. That's why I try not to chase it. I mean, if I
Yeah.
post something and it does well, awesome, great.
Yeah.
If I post it and it has 100 views, yeah, sure. Apparently the
Yep.
algorithm didn't like that one very much.
Yeah.
But it's so hard because it's just so wildly different on how folks engage that content.
Like, diving into that a little bit more and focusing on just AI and emerging technology when it comes to training and security training or education in general, like, where do you see that playing out and sort of helping augment what I do, what you do? And have you put any thought to that or tried to map that out or make sense of it?
I have a little bit. It's interesting. I tell a lot of people like I'm anti AI. Like most people that know me know that I'm not a huge fan. And I say this, and it's like a caveat. I tell a lot of people I'm not a fan of AI, but it's not that I'm not a fan of it. I understand how powerful it can be, how helpful it can be. I just personally feel right now it has just been put up on a pedestal for some crazy reason. And I'm not. That's my concern. Is that
Mhm.
everybody is just like AI is the second coming. This is the most amazing thing in the world. And everybody's just like everything fundamental we've talked about or taught in cybersecurity, people just threw it out the window. They're like, nope, I'm ignoring all of this stuff. I'm going to give this thing full access to everything in my life. I'm just going to automate my entire existence with this thing. And it's just, that part scares me. But I look at it like, have you seen Ben Affleck's interview on AI by chance?
I have.
You have? I think
Yes.
he paints it the clearest picture, right?
Yes.
From everybody I've seen, right? Should be seen as a tool to help scale our abilities and make things easier for us. It shouldn't replace us. It shouldn't replace humans. It shouldn't replace creativity. It shouldn't replace, just normal thought. For us, we should find a way to use it to make things that we do easier. The post-production of making content, right? Part, helping film color correct, right? Stopping errors from that part. The people that just go on and just be like, and I don't want to like call those people out, but they're like, create me a post on the benefits of AI. And then they copy and paste and just throw it into something.
Yep.
Like, that's what I don't like about AI. Like, that's what I really don't like it at all. I want you to have a thought, write it yourself. And yeah, you can use it for editing, but then it's going to turn it into whatever it is. But I just wish people would not forget the fundamentals and find ways to augment their existence, not automate or replace their existence. Is my biggest thing for AI.
No,
And
it makes sense.
I pay all three of them more money a month than I want to, so I can understand what they're doing.
I know. So they win at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I understand what you're saying though. And I don't, you can tell, and it's starting to become really the patterns that now you see, like the GPT-isms, I call them, with the M dashes or the certain things in posts that I'm just like, it's almost to the point when you know how to detect that now, it bothers me. And I'm just like you can't trust anything. And you could take a lot of that, and even the ones that you can't detect, like if you can recraft that in a way that is your own language, I think that's good, but it's still not your concept, still not your thought process. So I get where you're coming from with that for sure.
That's my biggest thing. Cause I'm not good with grammar and punctuation when I write. I'm like, and this is me. I don't know I literally do not know when to use a semicolon or a colon.
Yeah.
I use the comma wrong most often times. I've never used an M dash in my entire existence in life.
Exactly.
I didn't know it
So
existed
if I see that on a
until
post,
AI. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And then everybody was talking about it. I'm like, oh, what is an M dash? And I had to go Google it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a thing. People use it, I guess. So for me, it's just like, I'm going to misspell things. It's me though. But that's my biggest thing, man. Find ways to enhance it. Don't be the person that just ignores AI, because that's the wrong idea. I think you have to look at it, understand it, and find ways to bring it in. It's no different than coding, right? Same thing with coding. You don't have to be the best coder in the entire world, but you should at least have a general understanding. And if there's something that you're doing a lot, find a way to use automation with code to like make it a little bit easier for you. I think it's the same thing with AI.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I use
now, from an
all caps.
offensive and defensive cybersecurity world, that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely changing the landscape.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of tools that I'm starting to look into to help with getting, the podcast post creation done, creating transcripts, show notes, things like that. But even when you're doing that, you sort of still have to look at it, right? You still got to check it before you hit publish.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I'm waiting. I can't wait until there's a time. And I know there are tools, and I know like Descript is one of them that I used a couple times to try to go through. But for me, I haven't found a tool that takes content. That's why if you go through and look at almost all of my content I've ever made, it's like one shot, one run, no editing. If I screw up, I screw up. Ain't nothing I'm going to do about it. You have to deal with it. And that's usually how I've been, because I haven't found a tool that just like I can ingest my video content and it cuts it at the right spots.
Doesn't exist.
I'm never happy where it cuts it, and it makes no sense to me. So it's just been an absolute.
Doesn't exist. I mean, Riverside has it, and I use Riverside. So I know when I'm done a podcast, it will give me the raw recording, and then it'll give me what they call like their own edited version. So they'll basically go and scan the O's, the ums, the pauses, and all that shit. But when you go back and listen to it, it doesn't sound natural. Like, I'd rather have those in there and have it be imperfect, because that's how you relate with people.
Yeah.
Like, I can't watch a podcast where it's just
clip
it's
after
one word
clip
to the
after
next
clip
word.
after clip.
Yeah, clip after clip. I'm just like, I can't ingest this information, because it's like I feel like I'm not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you know,
am right there with you. I feel the same way on all the short form content on like Instagram. It's nothing but everything's just clipped together perfection. And I'm
yeah,
like, bro, like nobody's perfect.
nobody's
There's
perfect.
nobody's perfect. You're gonna mispronounce words. You're gonna say, you're gonna think for a minute. You're gonna slip up. Just leave it there. Now, I don't want to leave a 30-second pause in the video, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
got that one.
yeah.
But yeah, I hate.
I don't want an algorithm telling me, all right, there's 2-3 seconds with no talking here. I'm just going to strip it because it's not intelligent enough to go back and listen to it and logically say, this needs to be here.
Yeah, exactly. Now, when that comes out, I'll be happy. Like,
Yes.
when there's something that comes out that's like that, I'll
Yes.
be happy. But until then, I'm just gonna bear the burden and do all the damn work myself, I guess.
Hey, y'all got to deal with it from both of us. It is what it is. Cool, man. Well, want to let you go because I know you're busy. Before I do, I know you are nonstop pushing content. You're also nonstop traveling. You do a lot of talking. So since this is BarCode, I do need to ask you throughout all of your travels, what's the best bar you've ever been to? Best bar, most unique bar, any bar that really stands out to you?
There is the tower in Singapore, which is like the 3 buildings that has the boat built on top of it.
Yes. Okay.
And there's a bar that is up there on the forward bow. The bow's the front, right? I need a sailor on here. I know one's the aft and one's the bow.
Okay.
It's on one
I
of
don't
those.
know.
Whichever one of those is the front, I think it might be the bow. But there's a bar at the very, very top that just allows you to oversee like everything. And that was one of the coolest experiences for me. Outside of that, I'm always a sucker for like a speakeasy with a hidden door. Like
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I always
Yep.
think that's like the dopest thing. Like if you have to knock and like it slides a
Yeah,
bookcase out of the
dude.
way,
Yeah.
like
That's
I
my
don't even care if
go-to,
the
man.
drinks aren't good. Already,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's the ambiance, it's the secretive aspect to it, and so I'm with you. When I travel, I typically try to do some OSINT or some open source intelligence on where the best speakeasy is and try to hit it up if I can. I'm right there with you.
That's the best. Yeah, because the other thing for me is like I'm not a big club guy because the music's too loud. Like if I go somewhere, I just want it to be chill vibes.
Yeah.
I can actually talk to the person without like blowing my voice out to like have to have a conversation with somebody because I talk so much already. But yeah, I just want cool, easy vibes.
All right, Rich, well, I just heard last call here. Do you have time for one more?
I do.
All right. If you decided to open a cybersecurity-themed bar, what would the name be and what would your signature drink be called?
You know what I'd probably try to do? I would probably, and I don't know how I would do it, but I would try to do a play off of Diffie-Hellman somehow. Because only because the way that the protocol for Diffie-Hellman works, it's supposed to allow a connection between two people that have never known each other before, right? And have that encrypted conversation. So like, I would kind of want to have that ambience, right? Bringing people that do not know each other together. So I would probably try to play off something with Diffie-Hellman in some fashion or form. I'd probably name all my drinks after encryption algorithms more than likely. Just because they have cool names anyway. There's a whole bunch
They
of
do.
blowfish. El Gamel. It's just a whole bunch of random two-serpent cipher, two-headed serpent. Just a whole bunch of random algorithms. I don't know. Diffie-Hellman would be sure somehow would be in the name. And then my signature drink would probably be something to do with an encryption algorithm of some part. I was going to go plain text, but that's too on the point for what I do anyway, so I can't do that one. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
The drink menu could say plain text.
It could.
Then just have the text of the drinks there. But I love that. I love that, man.
That's what I'd do, I think. Yeah. That'd be awesome. I'd serve drinks.
Let's do it.
Just talk to everybody that came in. That was always my dream growing up, to be somewhere where like, like Cheers, right? Where everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
I've always wanted
Hey,
that.
man, I'm working on it for BarCode.
Yeah.
One day I will have the real BarCode running, and I'll definitely bring you in for some consulting work.
Awesome.
I'm really aiming towards Vegas, man, because that's where I feel like, we'll get a good crowd, but it's also hard to survive in Vegas. I don't know if I want to open a bar in Vegas, but
I bet you did it right. I think I'm a firm believer that in like 2026 and beyond, succeeding with anything in life is the people you know, right? It's knowing somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. I think takes something like you and BarCode and everything you've built right now And if you were to like stand up a bar in there and just be like, hey, I opened this thing, I think the word of mouth alone would just propagate out so far that would bring people there.
Yeah.
Because I would rather go there than like any of the casinos or anything, in any one of the 19 things owned by Gordon Ramsay, right?
Yeah.
Something different would be awesome. That's not,
and we will be more cost effective,
which would be nice.
Not
That's
a
the biggest
$90
downside.
taco, which I've had one time and I was like,
That's wild.
it was good, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. That's the biggest downfall to Vegas is everything. Accommodations to stay usually aren't bad, but if you go there, understand you're going to pay like 2 to 3 times more just to consume food and any kind of liquid, even if it's just water, it's so expensive.
If you make it out to Hacker Summer Camp, I host an event every year at a bar called BarCode. This will be our 5th year doing it. It's off the strip, but as soon as I found it, I said, I got to do my Hacker Summer Camp party at BarCode. So I do BarCode at BarCode. This year, I think will be BarCode at BarCode 4. We rent out the entire place and we sort of turn it into a cybersecurity bar for the night. And so if you're there,
let me know what dates. I'll be there.
I'll definitely like to have you there, man. We do a live podcast. There's I had a DJ. So it's a good time.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let me know the dates. I'll definitely be there. Tickets already booked, hotels booked, flights booked. So I'll definitely
You're
be there.
ahead of me then.
All right, man.
All right, Rich. Well, thanks for stopping by, man. Really appreciate it. Before we go, real quick shout out to where our listeners can find and connect with you online.
Really easiest thing, www.sith2.com.
Okay.
It's the easiest place to find me. And then from there, there's links to everything for the podcast. If you just literally search, I've made it really hard. When you used to look up Richard Greene or Rich Greene online, it used to be a gentleman that used to play Peter Pan in like the 40s or 50s. I spent my existence trying to supplant him on Google results. So if you just search for my name, Rich Greene, on Google, I should be the #1 result you find.
Nice.
It has taken me a lot of effort to get myself up there. But yeah, outside of that, if you just search for Sec Greene, SECGREENE, that's my username on just about every single platform except for YouTube, which is sec.greene. So Rich Greene, Sec Greene, Sith2, Google any of those 3 things and you will find me.
Okay. And I'll get the links posted, obviously, so it's one click away for the listeners. But again, man, thank you so much. It was great catching up with you, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Absolutely, Chris. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I look forward to more adventures in the future.
Yes, sir. Take care.